mighty lion voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Of the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's voice. Now put it, I Jollifer said that.
This is Sanky Davis. It's time for the lion to Ika. For unity is strength. Let us come together, my brethren and sisters, and forward to the motherland. Enough love. This is the lion's voice.
Haile.
Ja
Rastafari.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
Well, lion voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion voice, got to show the people them the light. Lion voice.
Manganga.
He's the lily of the valley. He's the bright and morning star. He's the wisest of 10,000. Rastafari come to show them who we are.
The lion is a crowning. The Jayasu and him friend they try to drown him. Trumpet sounding, people shouting. Now you bring the one to order, never doubt him. I say crown him. Look how the nation they try go round him. People shouting, can't do without him. Bobo Shanti in the hills they never doubt him. Well, used to think the Bible was a fairy tale, and to the lion from the tribe of Judah him prevail. See him get crowned in the holy mountain. Right by him side, well, there was Empress Menen. I saw Poland, I saw Belgium, I saw Italy, I saw a prince from England. All of them a bow before the conquering lion. At the same time when them are this the African. Can't believe my eyes.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabet is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Tafari's father, Ras Makunin, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Makunin is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Makunin knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
Break the chain. Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Menen. My name is Kwesi Bansu, aka the Chasmach Kwesi, aka Ras Kwesi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man, a creative industry attorney. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an actionist, and right now I am the host of Lion Talk Live. Welcome to Lion Talk Live, and welcome to the Lion Voice Network, where the lions are telling our own story. Tonight we have an exciting episode. It's Coronation, the 94th coronation of His Imperial Majesty, and Her Imperial Majesty being celebrated across the entire globe. We are Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media, and we are bringing coronation content. This is the latest in a series of reasonings that we have been doing with Rastafari around the grand coronation. This is something that we have to really put attention on. Today is election day in the United States. I am in Washington, D.C. Right now, so you can already know the vibration is off, but the election cannot overshadow the coronation. But if you look at when they choose to put their election, they know that this is a special time. You know, they're trying to ride off that Ivine energy being sent up, ISIS. And big up all of the Rastafari communities. I saw the ISIS in Cape Town, South Africa, circulating on the internet. If you haven't seen it, may I tell you, some mightyful chant. ISIS from Jamaica, Pit 4. You know, we had ISIS here in the Washington, D.C. So I just want to greet the global family and say, yeah, man, give thanks even in the midst, you know, of darker days, war, rumors of war, earthquake, flood, this, that, everything happening on creation. His name is being praised. The throne of David endured forever, and him that sat upon the great throne. And we have been talking with people and going into the significance of the symbolism, you know, the Psalms that were being read. But we did not go in depth into the crowning of Empress Menen, which is one of the things that distinguishes from all other crownings of Ethiopian emperors, and also symbolize the great balance, because now when the nations of the earth came to bow down before the Black Emperor, it was really the black man, the woman, and she was with child. So that Trinity, you know, being manifested there as a symbol. And from that moment, we saw the domino effect of the liberation of Africa, the rising of the civil rights movement, the independence era. And it brings us to where we are today, where, you know, every day people are waking up, people are rising up, people are uniting. And today is one such day of that unity, because we have a sister from Trinidad and Tobago that we are bringing tonight as our special guest from the Bobo Shanti house in Trinidad. I don't want the them feel like I just yard Jamaica people me I deal with, you know. I don't want the them feel like that because Rastafari is global. And the them have to know that, you know, this thing is global. So Lion Voice Network, we are non-aligned, independent, which mean what? We're not just sticking to one area. We don't just stick to Naya, Bingi, Bobo Shanti, 12 Tribe. Everyone is here telling their story. We have the most female Rastafari content on the internet. You understand? So they have to know that, and we're going to continue to ensure that this voice of the sister in them go out there because Mama have something to say. So before we get into the guests, big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. If you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. We are at 12,200 in terms of the Lion Pride right now. We are growing family, and it feels so good, the growth, and you know, getting ones commenting from all sides of creation. You know what I mean? It really feel good to I. We got a one that texts in from, you know, the Middle East. You know, we have people that are sending in their comments. So if you're part of the Lion Pride, you're watching live with I here, or you're gonna watch this on the replay, just put a comment. Let us know where you are tuning in from. This is a global movement. They can't smile up with things. This is internet. This is the age of information. This is the age of Aquarius. We are going into the global energy right now, family Rastafari. They cannot stop this tide. It's sweeping. It's sweeping. So big up the Lion Pride. Big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are at 20 right now on the Lion Pride on Patreon. Big up the Lion Pride family. If you you know, give your hard-earned currency to see Rastafari independent non-aligned media rise, you know, those are the Lion Pride on Patreon. We need to fund this because we don't want to just stay here. I'm in my gates and I give thanks. I have a roof over my head and I feel irie. But we want to be able to upgrade the cameras, hire correspondents around the world. We deserve, as Rastafari, a first-class media apparatus that's pumping out content just for the Rastafari consumption and Pan-African consumption, because we're an important part of the Pan-African family. So if we don't invest in ourselves, then what are we really doing? What do we stand for in this time? This is what we have to ask ourselves. You see the people them put in Trump and they might go with them plan. What is our plan? What is our focus as Rastafari Pan-African people? We have to invest in ourselves. So big up everyone who is supporting. We have $5, $10, $25, $40 level. Wherever you can afford, come into the Lion Pride on Patreon and let us build a world-class operation together. I am just the face right now, but we want to hire some young people, have our own news programming, have our own blockbuster films, have our own proper documentaries. So when Coronation come, we can be rolling out documentaries. We can go to Ethiopia, do the research, pay people, translate this, that. We want to do all of that. So big up those who see I vision and support. We have over 800 pieces of content on the platform. So we've been consistent. And as the item can see, the Lion Pride continues to grow. We're the fastest growing Rastafari platform on the internet right now. So we give thanks for these things, but the work is not done and we're not stopping and we're pressing gas. So give thanks. Big up a watch and peep and the Action Lion Pride and the Ubuntu Lion Pride, those who are giving more than $50 US, you become part of the Ubuntu Lion Pride. So we have levels wherever you can do. And we have to do that housekeeping because to stay independent family, we have to be audience funded. That is the collective security. That is how we stay pure in what we are doing, because then we're accountable to the audience. We are also going to be rolling out opportunities for small businesses to advertise on the platform. I got a call today from a brethren. So big up all of those who are reaching out globally. If you have a product or a service, you want to put it in front of the family. We have a vetting process, but if it's irie, then we're building this platform. We want to create commerce. We want the Rastafari dollar to circulate. We have to get the thing moving, family. We can't be just stagnant. And media is a big part of that. The narrative. This is the repatriation hour. We're gathering the people from the four corners of creation, and it's happening. So don't want nobody feel like Rastafari just sit down and a smoke spliff. Big up the 12 tribe of Israel of Trinidad that just sent 40 people to Ethiopia. We're gonna see if we can get someone from that tribe on the platform so we can talk about that. This is not no joke thing, family. We are serious about what we're doing, and we are bringing those serious voices here. So stay tuned. This is the Lion Voice Network. We're just getting started. Big up Ramia King Design, Ras Lidge, big up CMAS Life, Ras Woolly, all of the people who are currently feeding into the system. You know what I mean? We give thanks and supporting. All right, so housekeeping out of the way. I'm going to welcome our guests for the evening. Very powerful sister. She comes highly recommended from one of our, supporters out of Trinidad. Big up Empress Sharon, who, if you haven't seen Empress Sharon reasoning, go and watch that reasoning. A very powerful sister, part of the Empress Menen Rising Energy. And this sistren is part of that energy, as well as the Bobo Shanti sistren organization. So we're going to hear her story, and then we're going to go into the grand coronation of Empress Menen. So get your ital snacks, get comfortable. Tonight, we are going there as usual. Big up everyone who was here early. All right, so just help Lion Pride family to welcome Royal Empress Dionne. Blessings, my sister.
Blessed love, my Lord. Blessed love, honorable family. Give thanks for being here.
Aile, aile, aile. Give thanks and Isis. So how is everything with the eye?
Black and beautiful as usual. Give thanks.
Yes.
Humble.
Um,
Just
I, I,
basking in the glory of coronation going by still.
Isis. All right. So how we do things here on the Lion Voice Network is that we ask our guests to jump in the heretical Lion Voice time machine and take us to when the I was born. Where were you born? What is that story of this great soul that comes to us here over the internet?
Okay, my name is Dionne Herbert. My parents, Carlton Joseph and Donna Herbert. I was born in Port of Spain, Belmont area. I went to school in Belmont area as well too, Belmont Junior Secondary and St. Martin's Girls High School College. After that, it was Rastafari all the way. Well, I I came into Rastafari at the age of 9 through my parents.
Okay. So they are second generation.
Yes.
Wow. Give thanks. Give thanks.
My stepfather, Michael, and my mother is Rastafari, my little brother, and myself. I have an elder brother as well too, but he not tried in Rastafari. My brother's not tried in Rastafari, but my parents and I and my youths, Rastafari.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Positive. So what was it like as a little girl growing up in a Rastafari home in Trinidad?
It was beautiful, but it was different because I was going to school. So while I was learning the Rastafari creed and the prayer, when you had to go to school and then say Hail Mary, it was like certain time I used to say my own prayer and the teacher would catch me. The teacher would catch me and say, Dion, what is that you're saying there? That's not our prayer. Say the right thing. I said, Miss, I saying the right thing. So it was a little battle, but it was not anything hard to adhere to, because Rastafari is just natural, so it's understanding. So,
Give
yeah.
thanks. Give thanks. And when, yes, your parents are healing Rastafari, but when did that knowledge of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie the First, Empress Menen, when did the eye for yourself start really researching and, checking into the facts of what your parents were teaching you? How old were you?
Uh, say about 19.
Okay.
I finished school and I didn't find it had anything with everything that you acquire within the system. It still there wasn't anything for me, So I decided to look into myself, look into my culture, look into my liberty, do some seeking, some searching, and find out why it is I choose to live how I am living, or if this is the right way, because it have many religions. We
Yes.
all say this religion is the way to God, but there's only one God, so all religions is the way to God. You just have to live right and pure. So when
I,
you choose to identify yourself with a spiritual aspect, you will have to do some searching to be able to understand the journey that you are about to take. And that what for me was 1999.
okay. And what was that process?
Hmm.
Was it reading,
Humbling.
researching? What was the process? What does your process look like? Trot up
Yes,
into the
a lot
hills.
of reading, a lot of reading and researching, a lot
Okay.
of reading and researching.
So what
Read from elders, from because I come from a Rastafari community in Belmont Gonzales as well too. So have elders around you could talk to and learn from and understand. So yeah, but basically reading.
okay. Well, I want the eye to know that I am the reading Ras and I love books and the Lion Pride. We love hear about books. So name some of the early books that really had an impact on the eye, Chad.
Besides the Bible and certain books in the Bible, like the book of Job in the Bible, one was the first book that taught me that no matter how much you have and where you are in life, you could lose everything. But once
Mm,
you have faith, trust, and hope in God, He will be there with you along the whole way. So the book of Job, others always have to reference that book within the book that I read. There was a book called Names of God, and obviously the Kebra Negus, the Feta Negus, you know, and uh, the black names. That's now where I might know the authors. Uh,
whatever the
this book show you the black presence in the Bible.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there were other inspirational books that help, maintain self.
Okay. And growing up, was their household a Bobo Shanti household or did they come into the Bobo Shanti later?
No, well, as I said, my mother and my stepfather was Bobo Shanti.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Give thanks. Yeah, man.
Certain times, I used to go to school. I was by my aunt,
Yes.
and I would still go home for Sabbath,
Okay, give thanks.
but I would be somewhere else during the week for schooling purposes,
School.
but I would still go home for Sabbath. And yeah, so
How
basically grew up eating ital. Yeah.
nice, beautiful. How are Rastafari treated in Trinidad for those who are not familiar? Just generally by the public. What was your vibes growing up? How were you treated as a young girl?
Well, I was not an outcast because I did not grow up and went to school with Ras. As I said, I made the choice in 1999. That's when I started to grow my locks and things because
Okay,
at school, because
Okay.
of the kind of schools I was going. So in that time growing up, Rastafari wasn't widely accepted. Hence
Okay.
the reason I could not attend school with a locks on my head. It
Okay.
was only when I reached about high school or just after I finished school, there was a Rastafari princess who got, for her first choice was a convent, and they didn't want to accept, and that ended up a countrywide petition where Rastafari and children with head covering or headgear could attend a school.
Okay.
So it would have been harder in my time, hence the reason I didn't have a locks growing up, but yes,
Okay.
it was difficult, but in this time now, you're seeing banks, police officers, everybody have a RAS once you maintain it and make it look beautiful, it's wildly acceptable now.
Widely acceptable now. So, take us to your 20s now. As you get older in the liberty you accept at 19 for yourself, you're not just going by what your parents say. What was life like, in those early days after you start growing your locks and outwardly identifying as Rastafari?
Hmm. It was a little difficult removing myself from the environment that I was in, friends, family, it's a different kind of peer pressure when they are
Yes.
accustomed seeing you one way and then you decide to go
Yes.
around there like you're going mad, what's taking place with you. Even though they know my parents as Rastas, it was still a little peer pressure on the ends of friends. But
Okay.
within family, I had support. I had family who was in full support of it. I didn't have that problem within the house, because it was expected eventually, knowing how I used to still talk and move, it was eventually expected that Dionne will turn out to be a Rasta.
Highly give thanks. And then what was that like? What was your first job? Did you get a job before you met your king man? How was that? What the journey?
Working wasn't hard. I was
Mhm.
working in a food cafeteria first
Okay.
with
Okay.
a neighbor, Miss Jenny. She had a cafeteria in AGC buildings. So it was acceptable, and it was a high-end office building, and I was widely accepted until I went out on my own and I was doing house maintenance.
Okay.
And I was accepted by all my employers,
Okay.
so
Yes. Give
my
thanks.
journey as through Rastafari, I didn't find it was hard because, as I said, it was already widely accepted.
Okay.
And I think Bobo Shanti and 12 Tribe, Bobo Shanti and 12 Tribe helped make that possible.
Okay.
I'm not discrediting any other households, but within activism,
Yes.
from my awareness, right?
Yes.
There could be other houses who did it, but from my awareness, Bobo
Yes.
Shanti and 12 Tribe really made Rastafari liberty possible in Trinidad to live with peace, because it had a point in time in the 60s, as in Jamaica, it must have a bad police officer who, once they see you as a Rasta, you get it licked, it always have those. And it had that era. But in my time, due to the humbleness that Bobo Shanti, this move with, and the dress code and the respect that it is moved with, that made Rastafari widely acceptable in
Give.
Trinidad and Tobago, So it
No, I've noticed that Trinidad have very strong Bobo Shanti house and 12 tribe house.
yeah,
I've noticed that. I mean, I'm on trad within the order, the Naya Bingi, and I have to big up Bongo Grease and the Naya Bingi family, Bongo
yeah,
Jack. But I noticed that the 12 tribe and the Bobo Shanti look like them very numerous and powerful, within Trinidad.
vocal.
non-partial, you know what I mean? So we really give thanks for the discipline that the Bobo Shanti really bring forward, you know, in terms of the levity. Um, I want to just pivot a little bit to how the I met the I Kingman. You know, I know there is a family oriented sister. What was that love story? Because my audience love a nice love story. You love a love story. Rastafari love story. What was that story?
Because love is lovely, so we should always love, you know. Give thanks
I
to Rastafari. You know, my kingman is of the Bobo Shanti house as well. He is from Point Fortin, and as I was from Port of Spain. So it
Okay.
was a long distance love affair before, you know.
Good.
Yes. We spoke for 8 years
Wow.
before we got married. And before we got married, we still had the 1 year courtship before we got married to make sure that this is the journey we want to embark upon. And we happily married for 12 years now.
I listen last year the first. Um, I need to have the tour. I have a show called Lion Love on the network where we just talk about relationships because the family is the foundation of the nation. And I find we don't put enough emphasis on the family. You know, so I talk to sister and find out what they're looking for in a king man. I'm gonna start talking to couples. I want to start talking to brethren as well, you know, down the line. But I give thanks for that because the courtship, you know, we have to bring these things forward, you know, where you are making sure that there was some alignment before the item decide to come together because we hear the bad stories, you know, and as an attorney, I get the phone calls, you know,
Yeah.
of all kind of things and some atrocious things we're going to be talking about as well on this platform that are uncomfortable. But I just love the love story them when I can hear, you know what I mean? So big up the I King man, you know, and we call on the kings to lead the nation to the victory, you know, with their helpmates alongside Empress Menen. So it's the balance, it's perfect, you know. Um, so um, when did the I is a part of a couple of organizations. I just want to touch very briefly,
Mm.
you know, treading within the Bobo Shanti order, what type of works has the I been called to do, or what kind of works does the I engage in terms of community works?
Well, community works within Bobo Shanti is humble and simple. You know, you help one. Everyone is your neighbor, not just the person living on the left side of you or the right side of you. You know, your neighbor could be living in Talparo or yeah, or Moruga. You know, one we learn to be able to as a independent house or a self-reliant family, we learn to be there for one another in no any way possible, you know. So when sisters, for instance, when sisters need a strength, my feel is babysitting. I would take sisterins, youths, and they could go and handle their daily duties, you know.
Yes,
I could
yes,
take
yes.
an elder
Very
and
crucial, very
they can
crucial.
handle a daily duty and they don't have to study where they get any passage to pay for all these children or where they getting, you know, I just be that kind of daily strength for a sister in need. I am a phone call away as well as per se counselor. I strengthen ones silently, you know, like
Thanks.
a sister in need is a sister indeed, and that's what I just try to do, you know, be there for ones who need a good word, for a good word in a due season, how great it is, you know. So that is I see that as my responsibility to always be there for someone when they need it now. because tomorrow is not promised to no one. So I
No.
don't want to put off what I could do today for tomorrow. As in a broader aspect of the works of the Woman Freedom Liberation League, there are other empresses who of the Maracas House who are doing works in Ghana and South Africa where they are doing house building. There's another group, the Elders Council, which is part of the Bobo Shanti family as well. They are building beds for girls in schools, so in Africa as well too. So we dance at home and we dance abroad as well too, anywhere a one needs strength. When the hurricane passed the other day, some sisters in one of the small islands needed strength. So wherever strength is needed, the sisters of the Woman Freedom Liberation League extend their hands, their hearts, and if the pockets could reach, they are there as well too.
Yes. Mighty, mighty. And I know that I work with the Honorable Priest Lamont. Big up Honorable Priest, all the Bobo Shanti family. We really love the works. Is there familiar with Empress Marina Blake?
Yes, I am. She also is part of the Women's Freedom Liberation League.
Okay, all right. See, you see how the family connecting. That is, and I colleague and good sister. And so we give thanks to hear. And we have an interview with Empress Marina on the platform for those Rastafari attorney, Bobo Shanti, Freedom League, as well as you here. So I love the works, talk to us about how did Empress Menen inspire those works, and why is it important for the world to know about Queen Omega?
Well, Empress Menen inspired those works because those were her natural duties, those are the things that she did while she was doing her duty for her country and her race. The Empress built schools for girls, boarding schools, homes for young girls, women, men. The Empress helped out in the war, the time of the war, and she helped with the nurses' aid, and she also did a lot of fasting and praying. And fasting and praying brings spiritual strength and guidance for everything that we need to do on a daily basis. So these are the things that we, as the daughters of the Woman Freedom Liberation League and the daughter of Empress Menen Rising, do on a daily basis. We fast and pray for our families, our guidance, going out and coming in. And when I say family, I don't just mean immediate who in the house. Family by extension, as I now say, neighbor, it's not just on your left or your right. So we strengthen our communities by doing garden works, and these were the things the empresses taught. She gave land for food, she gave land for monasteries and churches. So these are the things that we aspire to do as daughters or out here in the West. To where is the black man church? Where is the black man bank? Where is the black man hospital? These are the things that we aspire to build and bring forward and make manifest for I and I self, for strength for all of I and I. Yeah. These are
Give,
the things we did. So that's why we are doing it as well.
give thanks, give thanks. Sister Shirley Stevens says she's excited to see the idea. I have a whole heap of family in the comments, may I watch. There is well love, Model Car, Lion Pride, and the check-in. Big up, Model Car from the West Coast. Sister Shirley, New Mexico, checking in. Big up yourself. Positive TV, Power TV, big up yourself, my brethren. So excited. Give thanks for the Lion Pride. Yes, Sister Shirley, we're there upon the work.
Shirley, Empress Menen Rising to the world. As
Okay,
one of our
Empress
sisters, and she in New Mexico, you see? So
Okay,
Empress Menen Rising is not just situated in Trinidad alone. We have sisters all over.
okay, we
Doing
love
the work of Rastafari and Her Royal Highness Empress Menen Asfaw.
We love that. This is technology age, family. Don't make people fool you that nothing's not happening in Rastafari. Don't fall for that one, please. Yes, Ross Gregg say, blessings, upful vibes. I'm as always thankful for the information and knowledge forwarded through the Lion's Voice. Mount Vernon, New York, by way of Maryland. Big up Mount Vernon. Big up Ross Gregg here in I Immunity. Rastafari live. Sister Whitney Lamsey, big up, respect, honorable. Boy, may I tell you, you're well loved, you know. You're well loved. Sister Erica, blessed love, big up yourself. Ross Andre, Lion Pride and Patreon, checking in, blessings, big up yourself, King. Lidge Tafari, yes, VI checking in, big up yourself, Lidge Tafari. Family, the Lioness War, blessed love, honorable royal goddess. Boy, may I tell you, you're well loved. If you have any questions, family, if you're watching live for the sistering, put it in the comments. This is interactive. We're having a reasoning with the village. Remember, I always say, as content creators, we got to build community. We're not just online talking to ourselves. You know, that's why we do the live. You know, we have the pre-recorded and we have the live so that we can interact with the community. Yes, Lioness, Roar. Yes, we here. Big up, community there. So I want, if this is your first time on the platform, just don't mind us because you see you think it's just It's not just
It's
anymore.
a family, and I love your family and give thanks to your family accepting me and loving me. It's just
Yes,
love of right that have us together, you know. So
yes,
give thanks
yes,
to God.
we're on the same mission, you know. Don't make nobody feel like we're separated, you know. We're
No,
live from Trinidad. I'm in Washington D.C. This is, you know, technology. This is I shall say to the north, give up, to the south, keep not back. Call my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth, even everyone that is called by I name. That is happening in real life, family. This is not fantasy. You know what I mean? So as the Gideon get rough, I get going. So all right. So what I want to do is talk to us about the crowning of Empress Menen. This is the topic. What was the significance, you know, according to how I see it, of the coronation and the crowning of Empress Menen?
the great significance to that crowning was simply elegant, you know. Man and woman together. First, I am last, we are together. You know, His Imperial Majesty said, if I can't go with my wife, I'm not going. You know, plain. If she can't come with me, leave me. And it was accepted because it had plenty of boners, plenty priests who was not for the action or for the thought, because mind you, the coronation was actually supposed to take place in April. And
Yes,
because of the decision that His Majesty took, it ended up in November. Because
yes,
if my wife can't sit alongside me, walk down the aisle with me, then you can't have me. That's not his words, I'm not quoting him, but that's what his actions said.
yes,
That is
yes,
what His Majesty's actions said. We are one. When a man and a woman come together, they leave father and mother and they become one. So he wanted to stand as one, as Emperor Haile Selassie I the first, or Emperor Haile Selassie I is one.
one
Him and
flesh.
his wife, one flesh, natural.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was a bold and daring move, and it was successful. That 72 nations came and bowed before them. You understand?
Yes,
When Queen Elizabeth She was the first woman crowned as queen in modern era, right? But she it wasn't as grand and as memorable as that coronation on November the 2nd, 1930, you know. I'm not discrediting anyone, I'm just saying it was not as grand and as memorable as November the 2nd, 1930. It didn't make much of us, it didn't make that big of a statement, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
with the Empress as well, with her coronation, she was given honors,
okay.
7 honors, which was one from Ethiopia, the king, no, the ninth grand color of the Order of Solomon,
Okay.
the from Ethiopia, the Knight's Grand Cordon of the Order of the Seal of Solomon,
Highly.
from Ethiopia again, Knight's Grand Cordon with color of the Order of the Queen of Sheba,
Okay.
the Imperial Coronation Medal, the Refugee Medal, the Jubilee Medal, and another foreign honor she received was member of the Royal Order of the Seraphim, which was from the Kingdom of Sudan in 1959.
Okay.
So that is how impactful she was when she was coronated on 1930 as well, because of the works that she did and the prayers that she lifted up, and it was memorable, you know. So we give thanks for her and her works
And
always.
for the audience, and I love the fact that you came with some facts because these are, I am the reading rat, so I love when you start come with your source them and this make me excited, because now we can go deep diving into the history. Um, each of those orders, and I'm gonna ask the eye to read them again for the family. Each of those orders represent a different group of ones that have to come together, decide, and bestow. So these are secret orders or sacred orders, each of them. You hear names like the Order of the Seraphim. The Seraphim were one of the orders of the angelic beings, what I mean, that are written about in the ancient scrolls, the cherubim and the seraphims.
Mm-hmm.
These are the angelic orders of the earth, and in Ethiopia they had their own sacred and secret society. This was sacred knowledge. So the coronation is really sending symbols, not only to the regular people, the common people who would see the grandeur, but each of these things is calculated to send a symbol to all of these secret societies, these sacred orders, these ancient orders around the earth. So like the sister said, the coronation reverberated more than any other coronation for its significance, because the Solomonic line was only claimed in Ethiopia, what I mean, and the Europeans knew that, although they claim, to be the protectors of Christendom, but they overstood that the bloodline was only established in Ethiopia, and of course, according to the prophecy, what I mean, that anointing follows the bloodline. So very significant. So read those orders again. I want the family to just make we listen very carefully. This is not nothing for those brush over. All right, going to the Empress. Read them again, please.
These were national honors received or given, bestowed unto Honorable Empress Menen Asfaw, Queen Omega. The first one from Ethiopia, Knight Grand Color of the Order of Solomon.
Hmm.
Second from Ethiopia, Knight Grand Cordon of the Order of the Seal of Solomon.
Hmm.
The third from Ethiopia, Knight Grand Cordon with color of the Order of the Queen of Sheba.
Hmm.
The fourth, The Imperial Coronation Medal, received in 1930. The
Okay.
fifth, the Refugee Medal, received in 1944.
Okay, that's
And
after the war.
yeah, and the
Yes.
Jubilee Medal, received in 1955.
Okay.
And a foreign honor from the member of the Royal Order of the Seraphim from the Kingdom of Sweden in 1959.
Okay. So some serious orders. And what is that source there that your dad is reading from for those who want to search the sources?
Let them go up on Google. This was a project I did. I just
Okay.
went forward some of my notes.
Okay. She gone into her archive. This is exclusive, family. When you come to Lion Voice, we get the exclusive. There's a sister that came prepared with her research. So this is what we encourage in the Liberty. This is when I was a young Ras, what used to get us excited. We try to find every book. We want to read everything, and we want to bring that love forward to the movement, because we have to remain as students. As much as I have learned, I'm learning more every day, and we have to keep that, because you have to be like a child to enter Zion. You know what I mean? The irids of a child, to have a heart light enough to survive this Armageddon. So give thanks for sharing. So she was bestowed these honors, including the Medal of the Coronation. What else was significant about the crowning of Empress Menen?
Besides her dress wear,
Yes,
everyone being present, her youths and them,
yes,
the
Mama.
Abuna. Huh?
No, I said, Mama. I just agreeing with you. And when the eyes seal up, let me know. I'm gonna read from the autobiography, and then I want to get your sound on what we're reading and the significance of what we're reading. But continue. I
The
don't want to cut the eye.
some of the I would say blessings, but it have a correct word. Some stuff that she received, some blessings, some particular pieces that she received, like the orb and the scepter, her scepter had a lily or a lake spur, which is a
Oh,
flower on it, and others would just have an orb on it, but hers was a lily, you know pure gold everything, but it had a lily on top of it,
okay.
a scepter, and little things that she received was just different and blessings, Her
Yes.
crown that she received as well on her coronation, she donated it. After
Yes.
fasting and praying, she donated that crown
Yes.
as a promise to a monastery in Palestine if they win the war, and the war was won. So she donated. So any crown you saw her in after the war was just a replica of the real thing, because the real one is in the Holy Land, So
And
she's just a
it
beautiful soul, Give thanks for her,
is a serious sound, and even this is why it's important that we have resources, because I would love to be able to go and research with all of the war in Israel right now what is going on with the crown, because it was still over there. You know what I mean? That crown was left in Palestine. We know places like Gaza is ashes. So are we protecting these ancient artifacts, these symbols of the love of Empress Menen? But I'm going to read from the autobiography, and then I want to just reason on what we read and just expound. If you have any questions, if you have any sounds, put them in the comments, family. You know how we do it. This is a community reason. We like to bubble the reasoning nice and get it nice and tasty, We not rush nothing. We're not Russians. We respect to Russia, but we are Ethiopians. You know, we are not Russians. We are the Ethiopians. So it goes. In the autobiography, His Majesty says, subsequently, the coronation service of the Empress commenced. The procedure for the enthronement of the Empress is today very different from what it used to be previously. According to our historical study of the earlier practice, the Empress was not anointed with the oil of kingship on the grounds that she did not share in rulership with the emperor. The crown, being merely symbolic, was very small. It was in the palace that the emperor placed the crown on her head and not in the church. This occurred on the third day, for it was not permitted for her to be crowned on the same day as the emperor. But now, as it was determined after consultation and was accordingly carried out, that except for the regal anointing, the archbishop should place the crown on her head and put the diamond ring on her finger, and that this should be on the same day jointly with the coronation of the emperor. Eli Selassie the First. So when you hear that, how what is the eye sound?
It's just, I was watching the movie while I was reading in my head, I just seeing everything happening and flowing naturally, but even though it is stated like that, it was still important
Yes,
because she was crowned the same time with him.
yes,
Whether
yes,
it was in the palace or in the church, she was crowned the same time with him. And that is just what he was the king was standing up for, that the empress be crowned queen the same time. And no other monarchy or ruler ever did that. So we give
yes,
thanks to His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness for setting boundaries and you're not overstepping anyone or overstepping any boundaries, but setting standards that I sons and daughters could know that a king should always stand alongside his queen, no matter the circumstance, that even through anything, she was his royal advisor. The queen was always there to guide him. So then it was the right choice and the right decision to make her or to take that kind of stand to have his royal empress crown queen along with him. That's just how I see that.
I agree with the I 1000%. We have Jesse Ross TV checking in. Big up yourself, Jesse Ross. The Lion Roar say the balance. The Lion Roar agrees with the eye. Sister Marsha, bless up yourself. Greetings and blessed love, blessing, Empress Dionne. Give thanks for your presence, honorable. Wow. The love, huh? The eye is well loved, man. I tell the eye. Living power of the Trinity, Sister Whitney, big up yourself. Sister Shirley, the first Queen Menen to be crowned on the same day as the Emperor. As we said, as the Emperor wrote in his book, Bongo Wisely, Royal Greeting. The chair of the Caribbean Rastafari organization, Bongo Wisely, Grand Rising family, Ayanola in the house. Yes, Bongo Wisely, nah, leave we out. We give thanks for the I Elder always. Queen Menen, okay, we did that one there already. Okay, my Lion Pride and Patreon, all the way from Reunion Island, is checking in. Big up off of the coast of Madagascar, this, If the item don't know that Lion Pride is international, this sister is here to let the item know. Never knew about the lily on her scepter. Give thanks for this precious piece of knowledge. So you see, Empress, how important it is for us to share. because
Yes.
that now is going to get her on her research journey. And this is how we get sharper. This is how we rise the vibration globally of the
That's
movement. You know what I mean? Because we don't want, now we have to put aside the petty differences. Now is the time to really elevate, because we need our own schools, our own universities, where we have Rastafari studies, where we have Empress Menen studies, and a
not
department that's livicated. This is what we want to see, you know what I mean? So we are the generation that have to build that. Him started the revolution of restoring the matriarchal energy within administration. Very true. Because this predates the woman's liberation movement in the West. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So this shows you Ethiopia is a forerunner in true equality. He shall rule in equality, he shall set the captives free, shall wipe away transgression, and rule in equality. So this is the fulfillment, of so much prophecy, so much strength. And as the I said, the youths them were there surrounding the throne, and she was pregnant at the time. The I know she was pregnant.
Yes, my lord.
Yes, so that is the Trinity, the triune. And what I interpreted from what I read there, His Majesty is saying that in times past, the emperor was given a little small crown in the palace, nobody was there. And him and Empress Menen been through so much. Him said, no, I have to get crowned with my queen. And remember, he would have to be reasoning with the elders of the church, of the
Mm-hmm.
monasteries. You'd have to call a council of elders,
Council of elders.
and reason why that this should be changed. Because, and remember, he said that the emperor used to put on the crown on the empress, and he demanded now that it comes direct from the archbishop, from the church, and it happened on the same day. So these are several changes to the protocol, the royal protocol that His Majesty is making. You know what I mean? So it's very important and crucial for us to really study and see, and for brethren, how far are you going for your queen? You know what I mean? This is what was important. Um, the I said that there is a call away for the young sister. How would the I, what lessons, if you're talking to a young sister who is coming to the I and saying, boy, I want being Rastafari, but I hear Rastafari, Bobo Shanti women are oppressed, or I hear Rasta women look oppressed, you can't wear what you want. How would you communicate to these young sisters, these modern young sisters, about the coronation of Empress Menen, the crowning of Empress Menen, the life of Empress Menen? How would you relate that information to these ones just coming into the trad?
Okay. I will start by telling them about this self, helping them to look in themselves to seek what it is they really want. Because it is not about clothes, because it's when your heart and not your garments. So your clothes didn't come to praise God. But from the time you search yourself and you find what you truly want, your outward appearance will start to change and it will start to look like your inside. Because you're clothing your inside with love and light when you're learning about Rastafari liberty. When you're learning about Rastafari culture and liberty, because Rastafari is a liberty and a movement. So when you learn about it, you just receive a certain energy and vibration that it within that you just start to manifest it without. So sister, don't study your clothes. Study your heart and study how you can build yourself and strengthen yourself. Find God within you and watch how Queen Omega does dress and she live in Africa and look how royal she does look. Don't study that. If you can't reach there, if you don't have clothes like that, it's okay. Build your heart, build your ways, and your clothes will follow. Because right now, yes, Rasta woman have a liberty and a standard and a way which we carry about ourselves, which is glorious and magnificent. But we don't reject or make a one feel less than because you don't look like me. Then that is not of God. Not because you don't have a piece of cloth to tie your head or you don't have an extra yard of cloth to make a longer skirt means I would not make you feel welcome because it's not clothes you come for, it was the word.
Hmm.
And the word is what it is going to nourish you and feed you to go forward to be a better person. And from you choose to be a better person, you will change how you look because you will start to find, well, how it is I think and move it. It's not looking like how it is addressing, you know. So you might get a longer pants, and then you might feel for pants again. You might get a knee length skirt, you know, and then you might move from a knee length skirt to a calf, and next thing your skirt dragging the ground, you know. So everything is a step and an order, and it's understanding. And if you treat people in with these steps of love, these simple steps of love, instead of forcing your levity on them, like you have to do this, you have to do that. No, that would not make me want to learn. That would make me want to be acceptable. So I wouldn't do it on a one. I will come as peaceable and as humble as possible for you to be able, because the Black Christ teach us to teach a man about God in himself, right? Don't tell a man God is here or God is there. Tell a man God is here within you. Because God will dwell in temples made by hand, but he dwell in man. So when you teach someone to see God in themselves and love God within themselves, they will treat themselves different. You will start to love yourself different. So your inward appearance will start to shine out because what you speak is what you send out to the universe. So what you think is what will cover you. So you will change naturally.
Uh,
I
uh,
reinforce you.
and I love that because it's an emphasis on self development. I preach the same thing on this platform for the Lion Pride. It starts with self, you know. When you're seeking your purpose, you have to start with self and that relationship with the Most High, and you can't look for that outside of yourself. You have to look for how the Almighty relates to self, and then from there, you manifest that consciousness. So I love
That's
that. And there I said a key thing that part of our African culture is that from the queen down to the woman in the village, they all dress the same, that royal um, attire, the long skirts and these things are not just in Ethiopia. When I went to Ghana for the first time and I was in the countryside, I was like, whoa, because all of the sister in them, or a good portion of the sister in them, looked like they were Rastafari sister. How they had their head wrap, the long skirts and thing in the village, and they out farming, they doing everything same way, dressed royally, in
yes.
the garments. And I realized this Rastafari thing is really African retention.
Yes.
There's nothing new under the sun that we're doing, you know what I mean? And when you go to the cities in Africa, you see the Western. So, but when you're in
Yeah.
the villages, you know what I mean, for the most
You
part,
see the roots.
yes, and the women are attired in their long skirts, or it might be a knee-length skirt because they're in the farm or
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever. But it's very royal, very feminine, in terms of how they attire. They look royal. So I really do love that perspective. How did it come about that Empress Menen Rising started? You know what I mean? Because you have taken this, it's not just a talk for the eye, the eye has literally taken the inspiration of Empress Menen and joined with other sisters, and the item are now holding that banner and doing works. How did that journey start?
Well, the journey started 1 year and some months for me. But for Empress Men and Rising as a collective union, it started 4 years ago with a few sisters, Empress Sharon being one of them, spearheading. And they just used to come together on Queen Omega's born day 8 strong eye liberation, just that the queen could be recognized as well, because you have the king's born day, which is July the 23rd, but you don't really hear about the queen's born day.
Yes.
So Empress Menen started just to come together on that one day to recognize the queen. And it just went from there, to becoming the strong collective union of sisters that we have today, of all walks of Rastafari denomination and non-denominated Rasta. That's meaning that you're a Rastafari sister who like Rastafari, but you're not from no specific mansion. And our aims and goals is the hungry be fed, the naked be clothed, the sick be nourished, the aged be protected, and the infants being cared for, the creed of all Rastafari. And
Amen.
these were the works, that little short creed that I now say, were all the works that Empress Menen did.
Hmm.
So now Empress Menen rising, and which is the collective union of daughters, that is what we are trying to aspire to do. Feed ones in the community, help ones in the community, help age, strength unto strength, iron sharpen iron, each one teach one, and we all build together. And we work as a collective union. We're not working as a mansion or a specific house. No, it is a collective reunion of Rastafari daughters who just love Queen Omega and love her works and aspire to see if we can at least achieve one. And it's two fingers I have up, so if one will bring one and it will just multiply. So yeah, that is what we aspire to do.
And I
The
hope
work
that
of Her Majesty.
I hope the IDEM realize that Lion Voice Network is the IDEM platform.
Yeah,
I don't want you to feel like this is not the IDEM platform. This is the IDEM platform. Any works, any promotion that the IDEM would like to do, anytime the IDEM want to come forward, let I and I know.
okay.
We want the voice of the sistren. We work with the Blue Fire, Sistren, Empress Menen Rising, Empress of Zion, all of the different sistren organizations, we want it to be known that this is a platform for the sistren them to utter their sound, And as
Right.
brethren, we are here to listen and to facilitate and to protect and to preserve and to, ensure that we can provide provision for the nation, But we have to listen to our wise counselor, the helpmate of iration, the
Yes.
balance.
Yes,
So,
and because of that affect balance that you and all our brethren bring, we had a Kingman dinner where we honored our kings on
uh,
the anniversary of his and her Imperial Majesty, which will be the 31st of July.
okay,
And we blessed them and honor them with, it was a nice surprise to them. They didn't expect accolades and blessings in such a high esteem, and it's going to be something annual from
okay,
henceforth, where we can honor other brothers who strengthen Empress Menen Rising. So, you never know, you can be getting yours over Zoom and then you receive it in email for your strength.
yeah, I might have
And
a fly in for that. We might have a fly in for one of them there.
that will be awesome. And
Yeah,
in December coming, Empress Menen Rising, partnered with No Youth Left Behind, will be having a peace walk or a unity walk for violence against children,
okay,
and, and an ITIL Fest on December 18th in Point Fortin.
okay.
So that's a little sneak peek of something to come,
Yeah, we're gonna have the item forward. We want to get a panel of Empress Menen to talk about that event and that
Yeah,
effort. And then we're gonna ask the item to record some footage so that we can also show the
no
family,
problem.
the works. Because I really want to counter this narrative that Rastafari is not productive or that, we're not coming together. We're not. Yes, it needs to be on a bigger scale. I'm not naive, and I'm not delusional. You know what I mean? So we need to do more. But to say that nothing is happening in Rastafari would not be true. And I relish in bringing ones like the I, because you know what I mean. Typically, we're just hearing from the artists and a few voices. We're not getting to hear from the workers. So this platform, we are here to let the workers speak, so that the global family, sistering in Kenya, sistering in Ethiopia, sistering in South Africa will see the eye and be inspired to know, okay, and then they may reach out to say how they can, have Empress Menen rising in their region, or, they're by themselves and they want to connect. So this is why we have this platform, is to be that connective tissue where we can, connect the goodie of Rastafari globally, so we can accelerate the work toward this repatriation, this great return that is destined to take place, and I must play our part. So me really do give thanks, you know what I mean, for the I. We have Empress Philippa. Love and blessing family, give thanks for the Isla celebration, the coronation of I Empress and Emperor. Bless up yourself, Empress Philippa. I don't know where the I is called. Do I know the sister?
No,
Okay,
but I
where's the I?
extend love and blessings to her.
Yes, let us know where the I tuning in from. If you're in the chat, if you have any questions or any sounds you want to block for our guest tonight, Empress Dionne, then please just put it in the comments. Let us have the reasoning, family. We have a very special guest, very important worker in the vineyard of Rastafari tonight. Exclusive. How many interviews has the I done before?
This is my first interview, but I do Zoom programs.
Okay, so the IMC, the exclusive nature, first, and you see so many first because we have so many workers that are used to just working quietly, and there's value in that too, and enough of the work we don't talk about or we don't share on this platform, so don't get it twisted for the people them. Don't get it twisted, we don't put everything online, but we have to put some things online. Why? Because this is where the youths are. This is where we need the encouragement. The whole of us are on our phones looking at content, so we need to be in these spaces with an alternative to what Babylon is pumping into the people. Positive reasoning, positive sounds, you know what I mean? So I really give thanks for the I coming forward, and all of the Lion Pride. Did the I have anything else in your exclusive notes about Empress Menen that you could share with I and I? Because it's some juicy tidbits you share right there. So
I had something that His Majesty said, I don't know, but let me see if I have it written here.
yes. And again, while she gets that, if you have any questions for the Empress, please put it in the comments, so we can have the reasoning. Big up everybody who's here with us live. We are over 12,000 in the Lion Pride now, so we give thanks for the growth, all of the new people, all of my family from Africa, Libya continues to be one of the main demographic. Big up all of the Libya family, Kenya, big up yourself, South Africa, Uganda. You see Uganda start poking, Ethiopia, of course. All of the African viewers, make sure you drop a comment. Nothing makes me smile more, make I smile more than when I see the African in the comments and you let me know where you're watching from. Just I always stay Empress, I found the notes. Okay, look like Wi-Fi freeze on us. All right. Wi-Fi the guy, he like to make an appearance and make you talk about him. So while we wait for the sister to come forward, we're gonna continue. We have some great things planned. We're gonna follow up with the anniversary of development of Rastafari. We lost one of our great Asians here in the Washington D.C. area, Ras Iris, who created the word sound, Irie, Ital, all of these things. One of my greatest teachers, in the Rastafari Liberty. I'm going to be doing a special episode to honor the ancient and doing some special content. It still hasn't even sunk in with I and I that this has happened, so we're a little bit off our square to say, because this is one of the key pillars, from I and I was a youth in university coming into the Liberty. This was one of the elders that we literally sat at these elders' feet and just listened to them orate history, encyclopedic memory and recall. These elders could tell you about prophecy, tell you about world affairs and current events. The man did not stop watch news, different news channels from Al Jazeera to BBC to this, that. Then he match it with the history and bring it. Those who know Ras Iris know the power that this elder had. So we really lost the archive, but like I said, this is the Lion Voice Network. We're going to honor the ancient in a proper way. We're going to have a panel of ones who can, testify about the elder works. We'll do some other special content as well for the elder. So stay tuned for that. We also have some big interviews in the pipeline that will be released before the end of the year. We have reached our goal for subscribers. We set out to reach 10,000 subscribers at the beginning of this year. We have reached and now exceeded that goal. But we have also set the goal 100 people in the Patreon. So family, I'm just asking, if you're not investing in Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, if you can spare a cup of coffee, which is $5, come in as a mission supporter, $10, $25, whatever you can afford. We give thanks because again, how you see what we're doing now is not how we want to keep it. One moment, I see that my eye drip need fit done about coronation, make sure I say the king thing balanced properly. But yeah, one thing is that we want this thing to get upon a higher heights, So this is not something that is gonna stop. And I want to just take the time. I'm getting to know my Lion Pride and Patreon. Some of them I've met in person. Some of them we reason back and forth. So it really is an honor to build a community online with people from across the planet. So join us, because we want company. We're trying to get to 100 by January 1st in the Patreon. We're trying to get to 1,000 by next year. Ethiopian New Year. So this is just phases and stages because again, we're scaling this. We're going to take it to the continent. I'm in the process of relocating to the continent, making my own repatriation journey. We're going to document it and show it on the platform. Those who have been following us for a long time know we bought land in Ghana, and we're going to do a whole series on building and what it's like to relocate to Ghana. So trust me, what you're seeing now is just, as I said, the beginning. But we need support. We also need support so we can take the time and write volume 2 of Haile Selassie Ethiopia. For volume 2, I do want to and need to go to Ethiopia to do some of the research at the Haile Selassie University. We want to get some original sources. So we can make the second volume even more spicy. For those who have read volume 1, you know, I've gotten almost unanimous good reviews on the book. So if you haven't read the book, family, purchase the book and support. You know, very dense with knowledge and facts, and it's annotated and it's told like a African story, you know, like a epic fantasy, like Lord of the Rings or one of them kind of fiction novels, but it's all history, you know, but told with a storyteller's flair. So support the work, but we want to get to volume 2. So this is why, again, the Lion Pride on Patreon help I and I to finance all of these visions. And this book, we want to get it turned into an animated series, you know, for the youths then, to bring the youths them in, but high quality animation. So these are the visions that we have here. And together as the Lion Pride family, we're going to accomplish these things. And we're going to make the world marvel at the uprising, you know. Some people were here when we were less than 1,000 subscribers. And look where we're there now with 12,000 plus, hundreds of views on the videos, over 225,000 views overall for the lifetime of the channel. We're almost at 250,000 views for the channel. So that's a lot of people who have seen the content. So, and we're just a baby. To I, this channel is just a baby. So we are doing so much. I'm waiting on the sister to come forward. So in the meantime, do we have anyone with any sounds on the coronation? Make we have a reasoning now. While we wait, if the sister doesn't come in, then we'll seal up for the evening and we'll come again. But if you're watching live, drop a comment. Let us know if you have any questions or any sounds on the coronation. Why is the coronation important to the item? Okay, Dr. Asantewa, blessings to the eye. Empress Menen requested to be crowned in the same color as the emperor. This was new according to the British newspapers. The empresses of Ethiopia had traditionally been crowned in the color green. Rastafari. So that's one of our foremost experts on Empress Menen, Dr. Asantewa. If you haven't seen her episode on the marriage of Empress Menen or on our Empress Menen panel that we did, go forward. We have a lot of Empress Menen content on the platform, family. And doctors in terms of scholars that are talking about Empress Menen. So this platform, we're unique in that we get the top scholars. We also deal with the grassroots. This is the whole family, because you don't have to just have formal education to have knowledge. You know what I mean? We bring people from the whole spectrum of the Rastafari family. But give thanks, Dr. Asantewa, for that, Sister Asantewa. Man, I tell you, we have an abundance of richness in this community. We need to be proud and celebrate ourselves, family, because it's great. One of the things that I would also share about, okay, we got more. Empress Menen Day in Chicago is a hybrid event. I hope you will all tune in. Well, we're going to have the eye to have to come forward and talk to us about this and tell us about this and share some footage of past, we have a platform. This is the eye platform, Mama Santua. So don't feel like this is not the eye platform. We now have a platform for ourselves as Rastafari, Pan-African people. So any events and these things that are important and significant, we will highlight them here. One of the things I want to say, again, I spoke about it earlier, is how Ethiopian society predates the modern feminist movement, and that the type of equality that we have in Africa and that we've always had in our societies is much different than the Eurocentric feminist viewpoint, you know what I mean? Which is in competition with the man, instead of being in collaboration or in complement, you know, because man and woman complement each other in the African tradition. And so they really do move as one flesh. And both the masculine and the feminine are valued in African culture. And our sisters are very feminine, but they're very capable, you know. And in the West, feminine has almost a connotation of weakness, you know. So you find people push back against some of these labels because of the Western definition. African, that divine feminine that is exemplified by Empress Menen, you know what I mean, is the essence of grace and femininity and, you know, being powerful without having to be loud and boisterous, quiet, but very decisive. When you hear Empress Menen speak, it's not no pushover reasoning, you know what I mean? If you look at the Empress Menen Chronicles, a book that was compiled by our good sister, Dr. Santua, she has, you know, an interview with Empress Menen and a foreign reporter in there. And when you see how Empress Menen deal with her, because the reporter was trying to look some trouble between Ethiopian men and women, and Empress Menen make her know, say, listen, in my country, we don't really deal with a single woman thing. All the women are married, you know, they get husbands, and, you know, they can do all of these things. They go to war, they do this, they do that, and let them know that our thing is different. So we have to salute Empress Menen, the work that she did during the war, healing the soldiers when the soldiers were in need, rallying the women of Ethiopia to service. The work that she did in establishing the Empress Menen School for Girls, the first institution of female learning in Ethiopia. These are things that history cannot take away. And these are things that the Empress did. There are countless churches that were renovated, built by the Empress with her personal money. Dr. Santua and Mama Walete, Dr. Walete, who is, one of our greatest supporters here on the Lion Pride, they went to Ethiopia and did the research and were able to look at some of the documentation of some of the properties that Empress Menen owned, from her days as a princess of Wallo. She came to the table in that royal union with wealth, estates. She collected rents from tenants and this and that, farms, businesses, you see, Lidge Tafari said he wished to see that documentary. Lidge Tafari, I need to become a part of the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are assembling the like minds. We're gonna get it done, So join us, because this thing is serious. Hail up the Lion Voice and all the Lion Pride tune in. Emperor and Empress, the perfect balance. Yes, I. So there I can see, okay, Sister Dionne is coming forward. We're gonna bring her in once she gets settled. But this is why I'm saying I'm not just coming online and beg for money. I could do my law and I'm all right, However, this is something that we need, and I'm an actionist. I'm not gonna sit down and complain to my queen that, boy, so we need some Rastafari media if you do this, that, and that. And no, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it because I'm passionate about it and I want to see it done. So instead of I sit down and complain, you know what I do? I do the work and then I reach out to the family and we join together. We build the Patreon, and once we get the financing, you're gonna see documentaries on all of these things because we're gonna go and do the research. We're gonna hire research teams and film crews and all of them things where you see on Netflix. We can have that as Rastafari family It's just how much do we value? Are we willing to give $10 a month to a entity that is livicated to bringing these things to life? These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Hold on. I'm going to put this on the screen, Lage Tafari. Yes, my lord, I and I will support. So we will be adding one of I and I brethren to the Lion Pride on Patreon. So they them heard it. But this is what I and I have to do to get things done, because again, we cannot depend on others to finance what we want to see. If we want it, we got to pay for it. That's the simple fact. And yes, I know how to go out and find sponsorship and all of that, but I don't want to build something that's dependent on corporations to fund it. That puts I in a vulnerable situation, because if they say we don't want to hear nothing about Empress Menen, then I'm in a bind now. You understand? Whereas if I build my audience of like minds, then I can do what I have been doing, which the audience loves and supports. So that is the key. All right, Empress Dionne, you there?
Yes, blessed love, my Lord.
I was holding the fort for the eye, but we
That's how
want
I
you
need
to get
your army go see and follow.
Yes, Wi-Fi, the guy we call him, he tries to start the
Yes,
show sometime. He tries to start the show,
yes,
But
yes.
yes. Can I just adjust the camera a little bit so we can see the eye countenance? Highly.
Blessed.
Give
Yeah.
time.
Better?
Give time. Yes, a little bit more down. Highly, right? That's so. Yes. Perfect.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, Sister Shirley said I will support the Lion Den as well. The Lion Pride. We live in the Lion Den, but the network is and the collective is called the Lion Pride. So yeah, man. Go to Patreon. The link. We'll drop the link in the comments. And sign up on the Patreon. You can also sign up for free if you don't have the funds right now. Sign up for free so we can get your email. You can get the newsletter. You can stay connected, because we can always get kicked off of YouTube too. That's the next thing. We have gotten a strike on YouTube because we talked about something that YouTube don't agree with, and there's a lot of censorship on these platforms. So make sure we have your email so you can stay directly connected, because we may have to switch platforms at some point, and some things we may put on other platforms because YouTube is not supporting that message. You know what I mean? Certain internal things we can't say on this platform. If you talk about certain groups, you finish straight. You know what I mean? So that are the realities. So yeah, man, I'll put the link. I'll have my producer put the link in the comments to the Patreon, and then you all can sign up and support, because again, we gotta finance our own liberation. You know what I mean? We give thanks. So, Sister Dionne, talk to I now about what's the future in terms of Empress Menen Rising, the Bobo Shanti Sistering. Let's talk about the role of Rastafari women to move this movement forward. Where do we need to go as a movement?
Obedience is better than sacrifice. I will start with that, right?
Okay.
Obedience is better than sacrifice. So if we are obedient to the little things, the big things would never be a hurdle for I and I as Rastafari, right?
Mm-hmm.
So speaking in that we have one we have one aim, one God, one destiny, one objective. That is Africa for the Africans. Freedom, redemption, and repatriation. Right? if we come together as a collective union, as a perfect balance, male and female, woman hearing man and man hearing woman, we will be further along the tradition than where we are at right now. If we get rid of ego and self pride, we will climb higher up the ladder, you know. So the mission and the objective is self healing and self love to make everything else a reality. Because from you heal yourself, you will move past what you think other people are thinking. Because when you stop to think what other people are thinking, you are keeping back yourself. You are
Okay.
keeping back the works from being done and going forward. So if we start with self-healing and self-love, the mission would be easy because love makes everything happen. Sharing is caring. So if we share a problem, half shared is a problem, half solved. So if we learn to understand the meaning of the word and not the sound of the word, we will move past a whole lot of hurdles where we will get to accomplish the mission, which is establishing back our empires, which is establishing back our kingdoms as kings and queens of the earth, you know, as Black people, kings and queens of the earth, establishing back Africa. Because why try to build out here? I'm not saying I wouldn't build a house or build a business or anything in the West, but why try to build something that is already set, because the system is already set for you and I.
Yes, I.
So if we try to build back a United States of Africa, as the great historian, Honorable Prophet Marcus Messiah Garvey spoke of, we could accomplish great works. Empress Menen rising as a single collective unit, you know, just as one of the fractions that I'm a part of. Empress Menen rising works is to bring back that kind of healing female strength and balance within households, within families, you know, bringing back our Kingsman, strengthening back our Kingsman on this Rastafari journey, because it have plenty elders before us who did the works, who set the way, who paved the way, but there is nothing much for youths at this present time in Rastafari. So this is our aim and objective, to give the youths a present, and the present is the future. And a present is something to make somebody happy about and glad about. So if you want to give your youths a present, which is the future, we have to build it. We have to furnish it and make it possible, make it a reality, because our elders already paved and said the way. They laid the foundation for us to build upon. So we just come like we just trying to furnish the house. What is happening? Oh God.
Wi-Fi the guy. Lion Pride, we know him, you know. We know him at the Lion Pride. He comes in, he wants to start. He say he want you to talk about him, you know. So Wi-Fi the guy pop up and just stop everything and, you know, wants to make an appearance. But we are wiser than Wi-Fi the guy, because we have all been blessed with the reasoning ability. So we know how to treat him when him show up. We just reason with the Lion Pride directly. So if you have any comments on what the sister is saying in terms of where this movement is going, the role of the Rastafari woman, that's how we're gonna seal upon this part of it, because Empress Menen was vital to the nation building. You know what I mean? Empress Menen was right there with His Majesty while His Majesty was taking care of the foreign policy. She was at home, continuing the institution building, you know, being at events where he could not be. And that's how, you know, that one flesh order works. So how are we looking at the Rastafari woman? One of the things that we need is a world-class educational institution, from kindergarten or preschool straight through to university with a Rastafari-centric curriculum. Every different way of life have their own universities, and where they're pumping out scholars in their worldview. Rastafari needs that. And I want to big up Sosa Crew, which, the beautiful thing is most of the things that we talk about, there are light minds that have already started. Sosa Crew is putting a Rastafari online university. We'll have some people from there. I was trying to really get Dr. Jelani Naya, who is one of the founders, interview. That didn't quite work out, but we're gonna work till we get that interview here. So the education part is there, which is the ignorant instructed, which is part of the creed. We don't always say it, but it's part of the creed. The hungry fed. We need a world-class food to table, food security system. You know what I mean? This is where you hear us talk about ITAL certification standards and agriculture, agribusiness, these things. So these are institutions. We need training college agricultural schools that train, how are the system going to assist in these efforts. The naked clothes, where, big up Mama Yashi and, some of the sisters them that are in fashion and creating Rastafari-centric fashion. You know what I mean? We need, yes, Sister Shirley, the economic base, I'm getting ready to go through and read Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson book, and he talks about, the pathway to collective power. It starts with building an economic base, before you get into any type of politics or anything. You got to build the economic base, you know what I mean? Okay, Sister Shirley, I Kingman are currently doing works regarding this. Okay, blessed, we consciousness, and we're going to have opportunities for small businesses to advertise at reasonable rates here on the platform. So as we grow, we are extending the audience to businesses that want to just brand themselves with something that is positive, that is Rastafari centric. So we're going to have those opportunities for the family to tune in with. And we're going to, like I said, this is still in its infancy. You're watching something being born in real time with the Lion Voice Network. This is not my full-time work. Remember, I still have a full-time. I have to keep the lights on. We have youths and things. So you're just seeing this in the early stages. But I do want to transition to this full-time for a time. I've paused part of my legal practice so that I can focus on this. I still earn a living from my law degree, but I paused some of the private practice, taking on clients temporarily so I can focus on the platform. Because like I said, we want to get it to a level, and it's only going to get to that level with time and attention. And right now we're wearing all the hats. We're doing the editing, we're booking the guests, we're doing the whole operation, we're building our creative ecosystem. So whatever strength that we get from the family, trust me, is very much appreciated. Love. Eventually we'll be able to hire staff and train, other Rastafari youths. And that's how we're going to retain our youth, is when we have them employed in Rastafari businesses. So anyway you look at this nation building, the economics has to factor in. And I'm building this business with Iman Queen. My queen is my producer for the show. So this is a family business, you know what I mean? My youths are going to be trained to do the clips and these things. We're in that process. So everything you see with Lion Voice Network is a family affair. And all Rastafari families need to be having their family business. Even if you work out there in Babylon. You need to be investing in your own business. Why? Because no third party should determine whether you eat or sleep or whatever you do. It's okay to be in that position because of where we're coming out of, the circumstances we're rising out of. But once we get that consciousness, we have to work daily to build for ourselves, you know what I mean? So that self-determination, Kuji Chakalia, we're coming up on Kwanzaa. We have to exemplify this liberty. And big up Empress Dionne because she is an entrepreneur. We didn't get to talk about her business, but she is a businesswoman as well as housewife, as well as you heard she watches people, youths and things, is an entrepreneur in so many ways. Our grassroots family are showing us how, you know what I mean, to be productive. So, and again, we don't just interview doctors and engineers and those people on this platform. We interview the full spectrum of Rastafari, our grassroots family as well, because a lot of time their knowledge far exceeds a typical university graduate. It's not just formal accreditation I dealing with. We dealing with the University of Adversity as well, and the University of Liberty, just life, you know, liberty ones who bring so much to the table. It really is a fullness, you know. And you see, my family from Reunion Island, bigging up the eye, Sister Shirley in New Mexico. So that's a connection being made in real time across the planet. You know, off of the coast of Madagascar to Mexico. This is what the Lion Pride offers, is us to connect, you know, with like minds and to build. So, family, we're approaching the 2 hour mark. If you have any comments, anything that you want to say, put it in the comments. I'm waiting to see if Sister Dionne is gonna return, if her Wi-Fi is gonna cooperate. But we talked about Empress Menen, the role, the grand coronation. We talked about Empress Menen rising, the Bobo Shanti Sistren League. So much information shared tonight. We learned about the honors of Empress Menen, the different scepter. You know what I mean? We learned about, you know, the reasons why the king deviated from history. We read through the autobiography. We are in coronation mode right now, family. If you can't tell, we are here celebrating the grand coronation. Have you seen the interview that we did with Rasabona from Last Strong on the coronation? Details, facts upon facts. If you have not seen that live, trust me, go and watch it. Over 500 people already have sipped that sip. That sip there is so sweet. Now tell the item, go watch the Rasabuna episode. Have you seen the coronation episode with Ras Ivai Tafari? Again, over 500 people sip there. That sip there sweet too. Yeah, man. So go and check out that sip if you have not seen the interview coronation. We could not have two brethren and we don't bring Sistren to talk about the grand coronation. So I pray that the item full joy. We do our best to have different Sistren voices from around the Rastafari family, so that the item can get to know some of our dynamism that we have, our dynamic Sistren around the world that are, you know, a lot of times they don't get to utter their voice, but they have a lot to say, a lot to contribute to the global discussion. And I give thanks. A lot of my Lion Pride on Patreon, I think the majority right now are sisters who see the vision and who are supporting. That's not to minimize, because we have some powerful brethren in the Lion Pride on Patreon, same way. So I'm not saying brethren are not there, but the majority right now are sisters who see the vision and are supporting in the Lion Pride on Patreon. And I do give thanks for the sister in them, because they nurture us. They're natural to nurture an idea, to help it gain strength and to build. And I want everyone on this live to make an appointment to come here November 6th, 2025. And I want us to reflect on where we are with this platform, the growth, because the item are going to see exponential growth in the platform. It took us almost 2 years to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours where we could monetize the channel. And then we got the next 4,000 hours in the next month. So when you're building these platforms, it's not linear growth. You know what I mean? We put in the work and then it gets faster. So you see the platform is growing so rapidly now because the word is getting out. Cause right now, if you're a Rastafari, you must hear about the platform. You know, somebody in your network has been interviewed, and if not, then you're just hearing, and as soon as you hear, you subscribe. So that's what's been happening around the world, and we give thanks. But again, we need the family. Join the Patreon. $10, $25. If you can't afford that, $5, that's a cup of coffee a month. Fund Rastafari Independent Non-Aligned Media. Again, we're using the crowdfunding audience-supported model because we don't want to depend on sponsorship. Once we start getting above the 10,000, then people want to advertise and sponsor the platform. Once we get above 100,000, the big boys will start coming. I don't want to depend on these people, honestly. Why? Because again, the check that they write, if they don't like what you say, you burn a fire upon the Vatican City one day, and guess what? Your sponsor gone like a ghost. You can't find him, you can't see him, and then your whole thing pop down. By that time, you have a staff, you have interns, you have this and that, and your sponsor gone, and you drop on your face. So I don't want to build on that model. Yes, we will take that, but that should be barter, or extra for those who are not Jamaican. That should be extra. The core of the platform should be audience funded, so that we are accountable only to the audience, to the Lion Pride. This is going to be the Lion Pride contribution to creation. And as we grow, it's not just going to be I'm on Face. We'll have other programs, other brethren and sisters will be having programs on the platform. And other brethren and sisters may even take over existing. So Lion Talk, I may not always be the host of Lion Talk. You understand the vision? We may bring in a sister and a brethren to host. We'll build a set studio, all of those things. But it's going to be on the continent, family. We're not going to build in the West. So that's just the caveat. I just want the item know a repatriation with thing there. So everything that we build physical will be on the continent for the Lion Voice Network. But this is going to be a powerful addition. Can you imagine when Rastafari has a world-class news program, when we're producing world-class documentaries where we fly to Ethiopia, we're interviewing Ethiopian scholars, we have subtitles, people are speaking is Amharic with subtitles, and we'll get the real history and high-tech cameras and all of these things. This is what Rastafari deserves. This is the value that we can bring. We know how to deal with it. With our experience in the creative industry, we can execute it. We've been blessed with that gift. We have the network as well to execute it. What we don't have is the capital. And the Lion Pride, using the principle of the collective security, that is where the capital is going to come from. To make this vision a reality. So again, big up all of the Lion Pride and give thanks for the support. It's now 9:58. I was hoping Empress Dionne was going to come forward. I was just using up the time, family. So, that's why you get all of them reasoning, because I want to be transparent with the vision, with the item, so you know what you're supporting and what it's going to lead to. You know what I mean? Okay, Sister Shirley, we are going to connect definitely. Yeah, man, the Patreon link is there. Once you plug in Sister Shirley, right from this up, you know what I mean, we'll build. Um, and we're open, you know what I mean, to ideas and things of that nature. So um, come, let us build together. This is a family, again, for every content creator. And I do creative consultation. So if you want to learn how to build your own ecosystem, how to start your YouTube channel, you just want help, you can go to our website, thechazbatchkwasi.com, and book a consultation. I do them. We have all type of clients, so don't feel no way. And we can help you to build your ecosystem. And again, I've been telling people all the time that building the relationship with your audience in this modern time, that's where it's at. As a content creator, you cannot afford to just be out there and not building authentic relationships with your audience. And that's why you always will hear me bigging up the Lion Pride and shouting out people's name, and because we're building a relationship. And we did have our 10,000 subscriber episode where we brought the Lion Pride on. So if you didn't see that episode, go into the live, go to the homepage on YouTube, click live on the menu. You can see all of the live broadcasts there. Watch that 10,000 episode and you'll meet some of the great minds that are in the Lion Pride. We just dropped the link in the chat, and the Lion Pride came on and we reasoned up. It was so ilaful. We're going to probably do another episode like that before the new year, before the Roman calendar new year, just to seal out the year. Check in with the Lion Pride periodically. Maybe once a quarter or so, we will have those episodes where we just check in with the Lion Pride and just drop the link. And if you're in the chat and you're watching live, you can just come in. All you have to do is have your camera on and behave yourself. No cussing, no cursing, no bad word, no slackness. And we come in and we have a reasoning, you know what I mean? And we build community, like minds. But that is where we are. This was Empress Dionne out of Trinidad Rising, Empress Menen Rising, the Bobo Shanti Order. You heard her from her own voice. It was a joy. Every Wednesday we are here, family. If this was your first time, welcome. We have over 830 plus pieces of content now on the Lion Voice platform. Check it out. We are just getting started. We are Rastafari, independent, non-aligned media, and we are here to stay. Why? Because the time has come for the lions to tell our own story. And this is the Lion's Voice. Yili Selassie the first.
Yeah, now the time has come for the lion to tell his own story. Yeah, the one them called Celestial, I represent for the mighty Lion Voice. And this a shook up your planet tectonic. As me sip up my roots and tectonic. And you can't make me jump nor get panic. Have the engine a run like mechanic. Room.
Amina, the time has come for the lioness to tell our own story. No surrender, no retreat, we are Jaja soldier. Rougher than the streets, tougher than a boulder. Bigging up Lamb's Voice. Now put it. I jolly for say that.
This is Sangy Davis. It's time for the lion to Ika. For unity is strength. Let us come together, my brethren and sisters, and forward to the motherland. Enough love. This is the lion's voice.
Highly.
Ja
Rastafari.
I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the Lion's Voice.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, With the lion cubs we sacrifice, lion vice. Got to show the people them the lion vice.
Maganga